When it comes to how you spend your time, you want to be intentional, impactful, inspiring. You want your investment to be worth it. The Global Leadership Summit is 2 days to unplug from the everyday, to refuel, refocus, and gain practical skills to level up your leadership. The Global Leadership Summit gathers in locations across the world. This is a community of people dedicated to investing in themselves. Curious, growth-minded leaders sharing inspiring moments that have a transformative impact on your heart and mind. The Global Leadership Summit is 2 days of renowned speakers, uniquely curated thought leaders from every industry. Gain tools that challenge you to amplify your influence and equips you to lead where you are. This investment in your leadership now will create exponential dividends in your future.
All right, who can get behind that? All right. No, we just play videos for kicks and giggles around here. We don't even care about them. Who can get behind that? Good. That is Global Leadership Summit, which from here on out we're going to call GLS. So I don't have to say Global Leadership Summit 10,000 times. I'm just going to refer to it as GLS. GLS is one of the premier leadership events worldwide of the year. It really is. They have 500 plus satellite sites. They have 450,000 people worldwide that tune in. They show up with curious, growth-minded mentality. Again, it is one of the top leadership events of the year. And before I lose you, because I said the L word, you know what I'm talking about? Leadership. I know how hard it is at times for us to view ourselves as leaders, but I want to encourage you today, and this is really what much of today is about. I want to challenge you, and I want to encourage you that you are, in fact, a leader. And I'm going to give you a really quick, easy definition to help yourself see you as a leader. A leader is simply anybody who has influence in someone else's life. Anybody who has influence in someone else's life is what a leader is. And here's the crazy part about that. If you're breathing, go ahead, check if you're breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, you're breathing. And because you're breathing, that means you have influence on someone else's life. And since you have influence on someone else's life, that means you are leading. Whether you like it or not, you're leading somebody. And since you're leading, what we like to say at GLS is this: when the leader gets better, everyone gets better. You can say that last part with me. When the leader gets better, everyone gets better. Yeah, it's so good. And so today, I'm looking at a bunch of leaders. I'm looking at a bunch of influencers in the room. And as a pastor, I wanted to let you know that my heart has been burning for this day because I have a large passion to have other people see themselves as leaders and as influencers. I believe you have such a high level of leadership and such a high level of influence, and I'd love for you to take that influence and start to use it. It is God-given influence to steward in a way to make your life better and to make other people around you better. And so what I'm inviting you into today, and what I'm asking you, is if someone invited you to get exponentially better, would you say yes? If someone invited you to get exponentially better, would you say yes? First and foremost for yourself, but then also for all the other people that you're influencing around you. Would you say yes? And with that, I heard a lot of people say yes, so I'm so excited. Well, with that invitation, welcome to GLS Sunday. You made it. You didn't even know you were attending your very first ever GLS Sunday today, but you are here, and this is just a small sneak peek of what GLS is, but you can high-five your neighbor right now. Go, wow, you made it to your first ever GLS Sunday. That's right. It's so exciting. It's awesome. And what is this all about? Well, we believe here at New Life that everyone has this capacity to lead and to influence, so much so, and we believe that this will help you in your ability to influence and your ability to steward that God-given influence so much that we're willing to take an entire Sunday and simply invite you to an event that we are actually going to host right here in this room on August 8th through 9th. But this is not that event. This is an invitation to the event. And so we're going to spend just about 30 minutes inviting you to the event in a really special way. Then this is really all about inviting you into a higher perspective of your leadership, a higher perspective of your influence, and just how much that matters. In this next little bit, as we invite you in the August 8th through 9th into a leadership thing that's going to be right here, as we watch this 30-minute leadership talk, I want you to hear this word from me to you. This is for you, and 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 this is for you. This is for you, and this is for people that aren't in the room as well. So as we watch this, I would love to encourage you to put on two different lenses. Number one, the first lens is this. How do you get yourself to GLS this August 8th and 9th? And not only how do you get yourself here, how do you get somebody else, or is there somebody else you know of that could also benefit from being in an atmosphere where they begin to view themselves as a genuine leader and genuine influencer over someone else's life? See, this is the vision, right? On August 8th through 9th, the vision is to have this room full of tables. And this room is full of tables, and we're going to have screens, and we're going to be sitting, and we're going to be watching right here in this room. I'm being so dramatic about right here in this room because we got done at last session, and someone told me out in the lobby. I didn't realize it was in this room. Yes, we are hosting this August 8th through 9th right here, but this is about you coming, sitting at tables, this room being full of a bunch of people who are starting to be able to view themselves with a higher perspective of their leadership and their influence, and they are willing and hungry and ready to grow. That is what this is all about. And we didn't want to just tell you about it, right? I wanted to show you it. So what we're going to do is just show you a 30-minute GLS video from last GLS, and this 30-minute video is just a teaser of what you'd be getting, but you'd be getting it for 2 full days. One other thing that I want you to know, and I'll tell you again at the end, there is a registration price to this. I just want you to know we're not really making any money off of this. This is not a money grab. We're not going to make money. This money goes to GLS. We just believe in it that much, and we believe in you that much that we're willing to put in the time and energy to host it. But before we play this GLS, I want to tell you about something. I want to tell you this. I don't think this is just something that's good or cute or nice. We wouldn't spend an entire Sunday if I thought so. And number two, I want you to know that this has had a direct impact on my personal life. In fact, when I first went to GLS, I did not know what to expect. I had been under what I considered to be very high-level leaders my entire life. I had learned a lot of leadership from a lot of different people, very high-quality leaders. But what I was introduced to was a bunch of world-class leaders, and for about 2 days, they spoke. And when they spoke, I don't know what happened, but it felt like they were talking directly to me and my season of life. And it had an incredible impact and change on me. In fact, it changed the different types of podcasts I started to listen to. It changed the types of books I began to read. It changed the way I treated other people. It changed the way I treated people who were leading me. It changed the way I treated people I was currently leading. It changed the way I viewed myself. The whole invitation is not just an invitation to just a simple 2-day event where we sit around and have coffee and have good conversations, although that will happen. This is an invitation to 2 days that I believe could be a complete catalyst for your life as it has been for mine. And so with that, I want to encourage you to lean in with me. But first, I want to encourage you to reach under your chair. There are these handouts. Grab a handout. If there isn't one, it's because first service grabbed them and our printer broke and we couldn't get enough. But if there's not one, there is some other ones. If you see somebody who doesn't have one and there's one under a chair in front of you or behind you or beside you, go ahead and grab it, and get it to your person, get it to somebody. But if you have this is the encouragement and this is the invitation, right? Lean in, take out your handout and pen, and let's grow in our leadership together today. Welcome to just a small glimpse of GLS.
A lot of people have audacious goals in their lives. But have you ever met someone who was single, then engaged, then married, all in the same day? This is the beautiful backstory to our next speaker, Ryan Leake. Ryan is an executive coach who speaks regularly to professional sports teams, Fortune 500 companies, and various media outlets. Every year, Ryan helps hundreds of thousands of people to address the friction that stands in their way through relevant leadership content and transformational storytelling. His best-selling books have been featured by USA Today and the Wall Street Journal, and his latest release is entitled Leveling Up: 12 Questions to Elevate Your Personal and Professional Development. He is passionate about helping leaders to achieve their own audacious goals in life. Please welcome our next summit speaker, Ryan Leake.
Global Leadership Summit, what's good? My friends, have you ever had a moment in your life where maybe you thought you were good at something until you ran into somebody else who was really good at something, and you just thought to yourself, man, there's levels to this thing? It's like, I don't know if you ever thought you were in shape, and then you went to the gym, and you saw somebody that was in shape, and you just thought, oh, there's levels to this thing. Like, I don't know if you ever met a rich person, and then you met a rich person, and you got on their yacht, and you said, oh, there's levels to this thing. Like, I don't know if you ever thought that you were romantic. You know, maybe you were out with your little boo thing, doing your thing, and you know, you go home, you watch The Bachelor, Bachelorette. They're on a helicopter going across Greece. You're at Chili's. There's levels to this thing. There's levels to leadership. What we discovered in our executive coaching practice is that people can follow leaders because they have to, or they can follow leaders because they get to. There is a version of you that is bringing your very best to work. You are thriving. And then there are moments where you as a leader are simply checking boxes. Some leaders just get stuck at a level where they are on autopilot and they just stop growing. However, they are exhausted because it's like their leadership is on a treadmill. They are running in place as fast as they possibly can, but they're in the same place they were in last year. And so today, I want us to take some things to the next level, because if we as leaders stop trying to go to the next level, what's at stake when leaders stop growing is organizations stop growing. So what I want us to consider today are 3 questions that I believe can take us to the next level as leaders. The first question is this: what's my definition of success? Key word here is my, because what can happen with you and me is we can easily pick up somebody else's definition of success and wake up one day and realize we have become something that somebody else wants us to be. Success is often determined by the circle we grew up in. So I grew up in a lower income neighborhood, AKA the hood, in case you don't know what that is, okay? And I went to school in the suburbs, private school, and I had 2 different definitions of success. And I typically measured success by vehicles and cars that were driven in my neighborhood versus the burbs. In the hood, we had what's called hoopties. If you don't know what a hoopty is, it's a car that you pray for before you start it. Father God, and then if it starts, then you praise God that your car works. That was what we had. However, the kids that I went to school with were always being picked up in these super nice cars, and I just thought, man, this is my definition of success. One day, the Petersons come to me. The Petersons were my definition of success. They said, Ryan, we'd like to schedule a play date. Now, in the hood, we didn't schedule play dates. We just went outside. There was no schedule. And so I didn't know what they were talking about, but I said, I want to do whatever you're talking about. And so they said, we're going to pick you up Saturday morning at 10 a.m. I was at the curb at 9. I said, Mom, when they come pick me up, I may not come home. I'm just letting you know, when the Petersons come get your boy, I'm moving on up to the east side because I wanted to ride in their car. Their car was my definition of success. Can I show you the car they pulled up in? It was a 1997 Chrysler Town and Country, wood paneling on the side, had a VCR in the back. If you don't know what a VCR is, you can leave right now. I feel disrespected, okay? Listen. I thought one day I will grow up and be successful and get me one of these, okay? But ain't nobody valeting this car right now. We know that. But let me tell you what this picture does for me. It makes me think, is there anything that I am striving for right now that I might laugh at 25 years from now? Why am I working so hard and for what? Because our leadership can be marked by what we want to accomplish or who we want to impact. So we can measure our leadership and the success of it by what? And everyone has a different definition of success. For some, it's a bigger church, taking the company public, a larger social media following, more subscribers, more listeners, raising capital, making partner, having multiple homes, being on a bestsellers list, or maybe even being on this stage. At our company, one of the ways that we measure success is by what we give more than by what we make. We set giving goals because that's how we want to be remembered. That's part of the what. But success can also be a who. And when there's a clear who, it changes the direction of your leadership. A couple of months ago, my son and I had the opportunity to go to a Los Angeles Lakers Golden State Warriors playoff game. I was speaking in Los Angeles, and I said, son, come with me, let's get tickets. And our seats just so happened to be behind the Golden State Warriors bench. Then we find out that we are indeed sitting next to the owner of the Golden State Warriors. He is wearing his 4 championship rings around his neck and hands them to my son to take a picture. I said, you don't know my son. He will run off with your stuff in a minute, okay? And so we take the picture, and then all of a sudden, Kim Kardashian comes in door A. Then Denzel Washington comes in door B. I said, son, do not get used to this, okay? This is not normal, okay? But you would think this is the definition of success. But it's just not for me. Do you want to know what a large part of my definition of success is? It's not the fame. It's not the rings. It's not the seats. It's not the money. A large part of my definition of success is a little boy you see in this picture still wanting to go on a business trip with his dad 20 years from now. Because you and I know a lot of successful people that have the things that other people want and the things that money can buy, except they don't have the one thing that money can't buy, which is sometimes being on speaking terms with their children. So for me, because it's my definition of success, sometimes I have to say no to some things because it's my definition of success. Even if that means you think I'm a little bit less successful, because another part of my definition of success is that the people that know me best respect me most. And I would hate for people I barely know to give me a round of applause, and the people that actually know me think I'm a fraud. What's your definition of success? The second thing that you must understand is that every leader has to realize that someone else is adopting their definition of success. Like whatever's important to you, if family's important to you, it's going to be important to them. If you are transactional instead of relational, don't be surprised that that's what you will get in your organization. The second question I think is vitally important to help us take things to the next level is question number 2. What's it like to be on the other side of me? Have you considered what it's like to be on the other side of your leadership? Have you considered what it's like to be on the other side of being parented by you, married to you, date you, to be on a reply all from you? Are you one of those do not disturb people that get upset because nobody called you to keep you in the loop? We tried, but your phone was on do not disturb. Didn't nobody call me? We called you. You just ignored us, okay? Are you one of those Android people and you hold other people hostage in group chats and we can't leave? I love you. Jesus loves you too. But Stop holding us hostage. I got places to be, and I can't go anywhere because of your green bubbles. Do you know what it's like to be on the other side of you? And I know what some of you are thinking, Ryan, it's awesome. To which I would say, are you sure? Because it could be inspiring, and it could be intimidating. You're leading organizations through a lot of change, and on the other side of you is a bunch of people following you through a lot of change. What's that experience like for them? People could enjoy following us. They could endure following us. In 1868, Great Britain had an election with two powerful candidates running to become their next prime minister. One woman had the opportunity to get a meal with both candidates. After having dinner with the first candidate, William Gladstone, she said this: he made her feel like he was the cleverest person in all of England. However, after having dinner with the second candidate, Benjamin Disraeli, he made her feel like she was the cleverest person in all of England. Which one do you think won the election? Good leaders are consistently trying to be interesting. Great leaders are consistently trying to be interested. Who's the most important person in your meetings? You or them? What's it like to be on the other side of you? In case you have some suspicions, you should ask around to verify. Question number 3 that I believe is vitally important for us to understand is, what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? Jamie just talked about this in a powerful way, and I love what she talked about, how you have to change your relationship with rejection. Because what I've seen the fear of failure keep leaders from trying new things way too often. But what I know to be true about every single successful person that you and I follow, read about, listen to their podcast, they all have one thing in common: failure. So why would we steer away from the very thing that made them who they are? Michael Jr. was homeless. Think about that for a minute. I love what Craig Rochelle said in his book, It. He says, failure is the tuition you pay for success. It's like, if you want to be successful as a leader, the admission price is a little bit of failure. When my wife and I were dating, I overheard her tell a friend that she thought it would be cool to get engaged and married on the same day. I had no idea what that meant, so I guessed and started planning our wedding behind her back over the course of 2 years. June 7, 2013, I get down on one knee. I say, Amanda, will you marry me? I said, just kidding. Will you marry me today? And we opened up a lounge room door, and about 85 of our family and friends were standing in there with a sign that said, today. We rolled in a dress, hairstylist, makeup artist, everything that you would need to get engaged and married on the same day. We were engaged for a solid 11 hours, okay? So we filmed the whole thing. It's called the surprise wedding. It ended up going viral. And then we went on a couple of different TV shows. We went on Good Morning America, the Today Show. Then we went on the Queen Latifah show. When we get on the Queen Latifah show, my wife looks at me and says, hey, babe, me and the Queen have been working on a little surprise, so go ahead and check out the screen. And on the screen came the late, great Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant said, hey, Ryan. I immediately peed on Queen Latifah's couch. I said, wait just a minute. What is going on? I started breaking down his words like it was a Bible verse. I said, he said, hey, in the Greek, that's a greeting from one American to another. And then he said, Ryan, that's me. Me and Kobe must be friends. I lost my mind. I said, I cannot believe what's going on. I blacked out. The only reason I know what he said is because I watched it on YouTube 1,000 times. Here's what he said. He said, Ryan, I heard about this fabulous wedding you pulled off for your bride and just wanted to return the favor and invite you out to what was then known as Staples Center to come hang out with me and the Lakers. So the invitation has been formally extended to you. I looked at my wife. I said, baby, you are winning the game. This is amazing. So I picked a game that was 3 months from the recording of the Queen Latifah show. Therefore, I began practicing my greeting in the shower. Hey, Kobe. Voice too deep. You're doing too much, bruh. You need to chill. You need to chill. I'm like, man, he said hang out. Like, if I say you want to hang out today, what we going to do? We going to go get some coffee. Kobe Bryant not going to drink no coffee before no basketball game. I'm like, okay, maybe we go out to eat after the game. I'm a generous guy. We go out to eat, I'm buying. It's just how I roll. Depending on where we going, okay? There's levels to this thing. And you cannot take Kobe Bryant to Chipotle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta. I'm like, man, what are we gonna talk about? And I said, so I tell him I'm a motivational speaker. It's like, Kobe Bryant don't need no motivation. I'm just like, so I'm like, I came to the conclusion that the only way that Kobe Bryant and I would have an engaging conversation is if I was in the NBA. Now, at this point in time, wherever you're watching this presentation, you were trying to indeed ascertain how tall I am and how good at basketball I was or am. What you need to know about me is I am 6'3", 200 pounds, and I was an All-American in college at a D3-ish school. Let me explain the ish real quick. So just so we're all on the same page. You have the NCAA, Duke, North Carolina, Division 1, 2, 3. Our school's D3 status was pending the years I played. However, we were in the NCCAA, which stands for National Christian Collegiate Athletics Association, which simply means amongst Christians, I am really good at basketball, okay? Church League MVP is all you need to know about me. YMCA ready to go right now. Nevertheless, when I graduated college, I didn't pursue the pros. I instantly pursued what I'm doing right now. However, I would go to NBA games, and I was the guy in the arena going, I could do that. Come on, bro. That's easy. That's easy. Go left. Like, I thought I could do their job better than they could. But the difference between me and them was that they had tried and I had not. So I'm thinking, man, I'm getting ready to meet Kobe. It's time to get back in All-American D3-ish Church League MVP shape, and I was feeling great. Then a friend of mine gets cut from the Chicago Bulls, and we start playing one-on-one in Dallas. He's 6'5", 245, 6'3", 200. You get the margin. We started playing one-on-one 5 times. He beats me by a considerable margin every single time. The Chicago Bulls were the worst team in the NBA at the time, and I thought, if the worst team in the NBA cut this brother, the Lakers are not going to give me a shot. And then I did the thing that every leader is way too good at. Started talking myself out of being brave. I said, Ryan, dude, this is dumb. Go to LA. Take a picture like a normal person and go home. But then I thought, here we go again. Like, why? How do you know that you're going to fail unless you actually try? So that day I started a second documentary entitled Chasing Failure, where I asked the question, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And so when I met Kobe Bryant, I said, hey, Mr. Bryant, this is what you need to know. I'm doing a documentary called Chasing Failure. I'm going to ask a lot of people, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? And Kobe, if I knew I couldn't fail, well, I'd be in the NBA. Kobe Bryant was a very intense, focused individual. He goes, yeah, do it. I said, did you just give me the Nike slogan, just do it? What's going on, brother? Come on now. Don't Nike me right now. You going to tell me to just do it? Really? And I'm thinking, wrong answer. You're supposed to tell me about how hard it is. You're supposed to tell me about 4 a.m. workouts and nutritionists and the politics of the game. But no, he just stuck with the Nike slogan, just do it. And then for the record, he asked for a picture. I said, Kobe, I don't do this for everybody, but for you today, I'm going to let this slide. Babe, can you take the picture for Kobe? I don't know what his deal is today. And then all of a sudden, some Make-A-Wish kids started to make their way into this VIP room at what was then Staples Center. And I thought to myself, am I a Make-A-Wish kid? God, this is crazy. And so then I said, man, I don't want to be a Kobe hog. Let me get out of here. So I started making my way out the room, and Kobe Bryant says, hey, Ryan. I said, yes, Mr. Bryant. He said, make sure you send me that documentary. I said, so is this the point where you want to exchange phone numbers, or you want my people to reach out to your people? I ain't had no people at the time, but I had a mom. And she had an email, and she would be happy to send you this doc. You know what? That's fine, because we'll get it to you. So now that Kobe Bryant's checking his phone every day, waiting for me to send him this documentary, I had to actually figure out how to get an NBA workout. For those of you that don't understand how the NBA works, they do not give workouts to complete strangers that are motivational speakers. That's like not a thing, okay? They're not looking for someone to come and boost the morale of the team on the bench. They don't do that. However, I did the thing we all do when you don't know what to do. I Googled it. Here's what I found. I found the public relations email for every single NBA team, and I just started emailing them one by one. I started with the Boston Celtics. I said, hey, dear Celtics, you got fans all across the city of Boston that are afraid to fail, and I don't think they should be. Imagine if you believed in this idea enough to give a complete stranger an opportunity to work out for your basketball team. I'll probably fail, but what if I don't? There's only one way for you and I to find out, and that's for you to let me try. I am 6'3", 200 pounds, and looking for failure. Sincerely, Ryan Leak. I hit send, closed my laptop as fast as I could. It felt a little illegal, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't put my emails on the internet. They did. 30 minutes later, Celtics write back. Ryan, this is a great story. It's just not for us. Best of luck in your future endeavors. I thought, really? This is why people don't put themselves out there. This is why leaders don't try new stuff. Because you feel dumb, and you don't want to feel dumb. This is dumb. Ryan, this idea is so dumb, they won't even let you fail at failing. Think about that for a second. I was like, this is crazy. But then I thought, did the Boston Celtics just email me back? This is amazing. I'm going to do a documentary about being told no by all 30 NBA teams, and this is going to be amazing. Let's see what we can learn from rejection. This is going to be incredible. 5th email goes out on a Friday to the Phoenix Suns. All of a sudden, I get a phone call from an Arizona area code. Hello? Yeah, this is Julie from the Phoenix Suns. Hey, Julie, what's up? She said, we love this idea. We got your email. Come on Monday. I said, you mean like this Monday? She said, yeah, bring your camera crew. I said, yeah, Julie, yeah, me and my camera crew, we gonna be there. Don't even worry about it. Yeah, we got it. Yeah. I ain't had no camera crew. I had a homie from the church named Chuck. I said, hey, man, let me holler at you for a second. I know we ain't talked in a little bit, but we got to go to Phoenix. We get to the airport Sunday afternoon. Phoenix has their largest storm in Phoenix history. Every flight is canceled except Chuck's. We were on 2 separate flights. I'm in this long line trying to convince a gate agent to let me on this plane. 100 people. She told them all no, but I'm learning from their failures. Hello? Now, it was all of a sudden, it was my turn. Hey, ma'am. I know it's a long day, but I'm not any better than anybody else in this terminal. However, I absolutely have to be in Phoenix in the morning. This is what she said. She goes, why do you have to be in Phoenix in the morning? Ma'am, if we could just turn down your attitude just a little bit, we can make something happen today, okay? Then I had to get in her airspace. You know, sometimes you got to get in their airspace just a little bit, just across the counter. Ma'am, I'm really not trying to make a big deal about this. Okay, I'm trying to keep my voice. I ain't trying to have everybody all up in my business, but ma'am, I'm trying out for the Phoenix Suns in the morning. This is what she said. She goes, you play for the Phoenix Suns? Ma'am, you heard what you heard. I said what I said. I cannot be in charge of your ears and my mouth at the exact same time. I got a lot going on in my life right now. Listen, she gave me somebody's seat. I don't know who is in Dallas right now trying to get to Phoenix, but that's not my problem. Listen, what you get to do is you get to go to RyanLeak.com. You can watch a couple different documentaries. You can watch Chasing Failure, which is a 15-minute documentary of a 2-day workout I indeed got with the Phoenix Suns. If you're wondering how it went, spoiler alert, I failed, okay? There is no camp to prepare you for the on-ramp from the YMCA to an NBA practice court in a weekend, okay? Now, when you watch it, you might think he fit in. And I did. But that's the problem. NBA players are outstanding. The reason I fit in is because I was sprinting from my dear life. Everybody else was jogging, warming up. It looked the same, but it ain't the same. Do not fall for our editing, okay? I promise you, it was embarrassing. And then what they do is they take you through a series of drills where they have NBA standards. For example, they say, hey, take 20 shots. NBA standard, you need to make 18 out of 20. I was making about 16 out of 20. I told you, church league MVP. I was very good, but I was not very NBA. Then they say, hey, we're going to do a conditioning drill. I said, let's do it. They said, Ryan, we're going to do the 3-minute drill. I said, cool. He said, well, you know, it's just pure sprinting. You want to get some water before we start? I go, yeah, that sounds about right. So let me just break it down for you. An NBA court is 94 feet. Down is 1, back is 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. The goal is to get 30 in 3 minutes, which means you have to cover 94 feet in 6 seconds 30 times. While I'm getting a drink of water, one of these little slick coaches was like, hey, why don't we put Ryan's score up on the scoreboard? I said, that's unnecessary. I can count just fine. I will tell you how many I have at the end of the drill, and it'll just be a surprise between me, Jesus, and you, okay? Clock starts, boom, I take off running. And one of the Phoenix Suns players, the Phoenix Suns team stops doing their drills to watch me run. I said, y'all can get back to work. There is nothing to see, I promise you. One of the players goes, woo, started off way too fast, brother, way too fast. Oh, so you're a motivational speaker now. You want to give out advice mid-drill. You could have said something before I started the drill. Nevertheless, about 90 seconds in, I had 13. I was cooking. But at that 90-second mark, I needed all the help the United States of America can offer a human being. I need y'all to call my mom, EMT, police, Navy SEAL, somebody come and save my life. I have made a terrible decision to have my death filmed on an NBA practice court, and I've invited my friend Chuck to film the whole thing. Chuck, burn the tape. We will lie the rest of our lives. We have an alibi. There was a storm. We couldn't make it. Like, this is terrible. I couldn't feel my back. I couldn't feel my legs. I said, this is the worst idea you have ever had in your entire life. Go home. And then I did what most of us do whenever we experience any kind of rejection. I put my head down, and I'm just hobbling up and down the court. And then next thing I know, I started to notice that I'm hobbling past a particular logo. Normally it's a YMCA logo, but on this particular Monday afternoon, the Phoenix Suns logo, and I asked myself this question, Ryan, how in the world did you get here? It's a lot of places you could be on a Monday afternoon. But here you are on an NBA practice court. How in the world did you get here? And I realized something. Chasing failure took me further than chasing success ever did. Because here's how this works. There's something powerful about a leader that puts themselves out there. And I just have to encourage some leaders today to go and try something, because great leaders understand that there is an equally great risk in trying something new as there is in doing nothing at all. So, because you risk irrelevance when you do nothing, so you have to put yourself out there, and it may not go well. You may try and build trust, and you say, man, I listened to Henry, and somebody might break your trust. Keep it moving. There is something powerful about a leader that puts themselves out there and just decides to keep it moving. You will make new decisions that everybody doesn't agree with, and people might leave. Keep Keep it moving. You will hire the wrong person sometimes. Keep it moving. People don't like change, Ryan. I know, but what they won't like even more is irrelevance and mediocrity. And if you don't make change your friend, that's exactly what you will get. And people will complain. Keep it moving. People will criticize you. People will talk about you. That's okay. You are built different. Keep it moving. People will get the wrong idea about you, and you will not have enough time to correct them because it would require energy that is required for you to keep it moving. As Liz said earlier, it will be lonely. Keep it moving. But Ryan, I lost someone I love, and I'm still grieving. I know. Me too. I lost my pastor to COVID, and I'm still not over it. But I know for a fact if he was here right now, he would tell me to keep it moving anyways. Global leader, I came to tell you, keep it moving, because one day you will wake up and realize you're a lot further than you used to be, because you were willing to fail things most people are too afraid to even try. Hindsight's 2020. NBA teams don't give workouts to complete strangers with convincing emails. But here's what I learned in Phoenix. Sometimes they make an exception. And you'll never know if you're an exception to a rule until you're willing to try something exceptional. Secondly, now that I get to call quite a few NBA teams clients, one of them is the Dallas Mavericks and St. Marshall. I found out there's more than one way to be in the NBA. They got all sorts of opportunities I would never know about if I wasn't willing to send a scary email. Once again, I must ask you, what would you do if you knew that you couldn't fail? And I'm going to tell you what Kobe Bryant told me. Just do it. Global Leadership Summit, it's been a pleasure being with you today.
All right, wasn't that awesome? Yeah, come on. Firstly, I hope that encouraged somebody in the house today. But secondly, that's what we're inviting you into on August 8th through 9th. Except for not just for 30 minutes, but for 2 full days. It is a fire hose of leadership that just gets poured out. And I believe it can launch you into a whole nother tier, capacity and influence. And some of you, in fact, I believe there's 2 different types of people in the room today. The first person is saying, why are you telling me about something that's happening in August when it's only April? Like, you're telling me way ahead of time. We got all types of time in the world. And there's another type of person in the room that's going, wow, the event's in August. You tell me in April, you're cutting it a little close, all right? That helps you know which type of person you are. But the reason why we're telling you about an event in August, in April, is because early bird pricing ends May 8th. Early bird pricing ends May 8th. So I really want to encourage you to go out. If you can even sign up today, sign up today. If you need a week or 2 to think about it, but sign up in the next couple weeks. If you have a department, if you lead a team, if you're part of an HR, if you run a business, if you're in an organization, if you're in the schooling system, and you can bring either yourself or your team or department, start to introduce it to them right here and right now so that you can still get in on early bird pricing. Again, when I'm talking about pricing, we are not making the money off of this. This is just something that we believe in you as leaders and influencers, so much so that we're willing to spend time and energy to host it without really making any money off of it. But yes, early bird pricing. I'm going to tell you how you can sign up. You can sign up. There's cards that came with your packet. If you didn't see it, there's these little cards right here. It says register today. There's QR code. You can register. You can click that QR code, and you can get more information that way. By the way, if you're military, if you're a teacher, if you're nursing, teachers in nursing, there's all types of credits as far as HR credits as well that you can get as continued education credits. There's also big-time reduction in price, okay? So check that out. Check those things out. You can sign up again with this card in your hand. You can go to the QR code. You can go to our website, newlifenoy.com, and there's a GLS tab right up in the top right corner. You can click that. That'll take you to our page as well, and it gets you in on our early bird pricing, and again, on our host site as we're hosting it right here. Or you can go out to the GLS table in the lobby. That's right. We have a GLS table out in the lobby, and you can go out there, and Rebecca will be out there to answer any questions that you have regarding GLS. Lastly, this is what we want to be about as a church, right? And if you're noticing this, there's two big things, right? There's two major things going on. One of them is a call and a challenge to view yourself as a leader and as an influencer. That's how we see you. That's what we want to encourage. As many people who will grow come with us on this journey of growth into leadership and influencing. And that is us being willing to pour into you in this way. But the second thing is you pouring out, right? We talked about being the church, and the pour out moment is Serve Weekend. And so there's an invitation here to get poured into, and there's an invitation to go pour out. And both of those tables are right next to each other in the lobby. We've made them as easy as possible for you to get poured into and to pour out. And that's the challenge. That's the invitation. The onus is on us as a community, whether we will actually be the church and step into these things or not. And so that's my encouragement for you today. Listen, I believe you are a leader. I believe you have influence, and I believe that there is something that God can and will do. In fact, I'll tell you one last thing, and then I'll let you go. One of the days I made my decision to move back to New York was actually at a GLS in 2022 or 2021, and I felt like God spoke through one of the leaders, and it was a direct impact. I went home and told my wife, I said, I think we're supposed to move back to New York and do this church thing. And that was at a GLS. This is not just a moment. Again, this is not just a 2-day event. I believe that God can speak to you in massive ways that can lead you in your life moving forward. I know He's done it for me. I believe He can do it for you. Let's go sign up. Let's go sign up for GLS. Let's definitely sign up for Serve Weekend and go out and be the church. New Life, we love you. We'll start our We Are the Church series next week. I'm so excited for it. It's going to come with some amazing revelations. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Lord, you take me back to my first love. You show me who I was made for. Now I am found in your freedom, in the love of the Father.
It makes my questions grow too large, and I feel that I run far. My memory fails me right. I get enslaved to my own mind. Forgetfulness of your grace drags me around for miles until I see the corner of your smile. Oh, you were good to me before I knew your name. Your grace freed me from a selfish pain. I was lost and I felt the need for you. How could I ever leave?